So I'm going to start off by saying that I do not know anything about the Green Lantern story. I didn't read the comic books or anything like that. I don't even remember there being even a cartoon or anything sort of based on him. I'm kind of caught glimpse of him in the Justice League movies, the animated movies, but other than that, not much knowledge of the character, so this review is strictly based on this movie alone. Had I never heard of Green Lantern before, this is what I think. And with Green Lantern, I wasn't really that impressed with this one, especially in comparison to all the other comic book adaptation movies that have come out in the past few years, including the latest one, the movie Thor, which I thought was pretty good. But this one missed a couple of stuff that I thought that if improved, it definitely could have been at least decent. So I'll start with the genre part of it. As I thought, it was actually pretty funny, to be honest with you, and that's because of, you know, Ryan's character. They always give him something really good to say, and just seeing him on screen is pretty humorous as well. I found that this movie was sort of similar to what Marvel does with their movies as opposed to DC and their adaptations. Especially with the fact that Batman has turned more realistic and more serious, more dark. Seeing that this is a DC movie too, you would think they would probably try and continue the trend and go the same way, but they treated Green Lantern to be more of a comedy than an action movie, more of a comedy than a dark movie, more of a comedy than a serious movie, to give him more depth. And you know, either way is fine, but at the same time, you know, even though you're very humorous, it sort of came off as a little bit of a joke. But I will definitely give it a point for its action. It wasn't the best action, but it did deliver some good action scenes, some good special effects. I even will say that part of the movie, especially more of the CGI aspect of it, when you visit the planet that all the Green Lanterns sort of unite, the 3D actually did serve a good purpose in those sort of scenes. Usually when you look at live action 3D, it doesn't really come off that great, or there's really not much need for it, but I thought that some of the 3D part of it was pretty good. As far as the acting, I think Ryan's really fun to look at. He always, anytime he's in a movie, he always says the right thing, and even though he may not be given the best material to say, for some reason there's just something about him that you just like when you see him on film. There were a lot of people that were in this movie that had a lot of potential to shine and do their thing, and I don't think that the movie gave them a chance to do that. But overall, all the acting was decent. I don't think there was really any sort of cheesy moments except for Blake Lively, sorry, but Blake didn't really serve too well in this one. There was a lot of moments where it came off a little bit forced and a little bit fake, but like I said, overall, everybody was mostly decent, so I'll give it a good, you know, score for that. As far as the writing goes, I thought there were a lot of things that they could have done better. What I did like about the writing was that they treated Green Lantern as sort of a parody to other superhero movies and cliches. They made a point to talk about how, oh, if you're a superhero, then that must mean you get the girl, or there was a time where obviously the littlest of a mask on your face for some reason disguises and configures your entire look so nobody recognizes you, but that wasn't really the case, and they actually decided to point that out in a joke, just sort of talking about how, you know, a pair of glasses on Superman means, you know, I can't recognize him as Clark Kent. So I actually like that little spin on it, but there were a lot of things that I think they could have done better. The plot, for one, I think that it was a little rushed. You'll notice in this movie that when everyone discovers this alien, life out there and sort of the background of the Green Lantern, a lot of people just accepted it. Okay, there are aliens in the world. Let's move on. And also Peter Sarsgaard's character, who supposedly was the villain, but at the same time he was sort of a pawn. It's a little weird. You'll see if you decide to watch it, but at the end of the day, I don't think that there was really any need for his character to begin with. I think that they should have wrote his character to be a little bit more involved or a little bit more connected to the bigger threat of the movie. As far as recommending this movie, I'm going to say no. There's absolutely no reason to see this right away, nor do you need to see it while it's in theaters. Just wait till DVD. As far as replay value, I personally don't need to see this movie again. It's not something that I would dread watching again, but I don't really have a reason to watch it again. I feel like that I have seen everything that I needed to see from this movie, and I don't know if I'll really pick up on anything new. So, there you have it. I'm going to give this movie 2 out of 5 for its genre, for delivering the comic book adaptation to Green Lantern, the action, the humor, things that you would see in a comic book movie, and I'll also give it a point for decent acting. Nothing too Oscar worthy or anything like that, but everybody was decent. So 2 out of 5. What do you think?